guys, I decided to do a little crafting today. I'm gonna start working on the cover for my Christmas cheer junk journal. I picked out a couple of papers from the set, from the Christmas cheer set, and I've trimmed all the edges off. And I think what I wanna do is a little overlap so that on the front of the cover, I can run a little bit of this ribbon right over that. That's kind of the plan. I don't know, we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna use just some cardboard from a product box that I had in my pantry. I don't usually have things this big in my pantry, but I got lucky this time, so I'm gonna try this out and see how it works. So I picked my two papers. I've got them vertical so that they're gonna be able to cover all of these panels. I've cut, these are 8.5 by 5.5 for the two sides. And then the spine is 8.5 by 1.5 inches. I'm gonna put, I think, 3 signatures in this journal. I'm gonna add a lot of Christmas cards and other thick things, I think, to this book. So I wanna leave plenty of space so it doesn't get all like explosive later on whenever I'm getting close to finish with it. So I'm gonna move these to the side. Let me show you, flip this over. I've got quite a bit of overlap, and I took a couple minutes to kind of mark out exactly what I wanted to do to cover this journal. I laid out my pieces and tried to make it so that I had enough on all of the sides to fold over once all the pieces are in place. I have to leave like a little gap so it can fold in between the spine. And then I've marked the corners, and then I marked where these papers touched each other. And then I put a little mark right where I'm gonna have to trim some of this extra paper off before I fold it over. So I think I have it all laid out. Everything is marked. Me and measuring, not always so good, so we will see how this goes. Move these to the side. I'm gonna use some of the Beacon Fabri-Tac, and I'm gonna glue these two together. I'm hoping this isn't too bulky with this much overlap when I go to crease the book. I'm gonna just run a whole bunch down. And I have an old brush. I'm just gonna kind of smooth it out so that we don't get those lines showing through later on. I'm not worried about having a super clean edge on this side because I am going to cover that up with a ribbon. All right, let's see here. Line that up. Slide it. There we go. Just going to use my bone folder and smooth it. Oh, we got a little off. We'll see how straight this is. Oh, I think it's stuck. Oh well, it'll be fine. Hopefully it's not so far off we can't cover that up with the ribbon later. All right, that's set. So now we need to glue down our cardstock, and then I will trim this with my paper trimmer after I get these glued down. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put a generous amount of this glue on my cardboard. I should move these out of the way, shouldn't I? There we go. We're very impromptu today. We'll see where this takes us. All right, and line it up with our little corner marks. Got a smooth. I'm gonna kind of line this up. I just want to double check. Make sure our spine goes in the right spot. We'll put that in next. We want to leave kind of like about the bone folders width, kind of right through there. So I'll glue that and see if we can get that in place. I'm not worried about being neat on the plain side of my cardstock. I'm going to cover all of this up. Line up with my marks. And one more to go. Nice and smooth. I did pick up some nice chipboard for this kind of thing, but I got lucky and had a free box I could use this time around, so I figured, why not give it a try? It seems like it's about the same weight as the chipboard that I have. A little uneven. Let's see here. All right. I'm gonna say good enough on that. Smooth it down. And there we go. I'm gonna let this dry just a little bit and trim off the excess I have here at the top, and then we'll continue assembling the cover of our journal. All right, so we are all trimmed up. I've got papers are lined up okay. I think this is gonna be the front. We'll figure that out. So next we need to fold over all of these edges. But we're gonna have to notch out a little bit of these corners. And I'm gonna try not to notch out so much that you can see the chipboard showing through whenever we fold it all over, but we'll see what happens. So I'm just gonna do a little nip in there. You can always cut out a little more. Hopefully I'm not taking too much. One of our little corners, and let's fold it over and see how I did. So I'm gonna pre-fold all of this just right up against the chipboard. Kind of press it down. This paper is a 32-pound copy paper. It's a little thicker than the like the cheap copy paper. Nice and sharp. All right, let's see how I did. This is kind of the moment of truth here. Let's pull this up. Yay! Nothing peeking through there. We'll have to glue all of these down still, but I just want to make sure everything's kind of the way I want it. Pretty good on that one. One more. Hey, pretty good job. All right. So I'm going to glue all of these edges down. There we go. Get that nice and sharp. I'm going to glue all these edges down. And then we will see where we're at. Oops. I find that smoothing these with a bone folder Helps you get a tighter kind of grip with the glue. And it helps reinforce those sharp edges. You know what, let's do this side first. There we go. And then we'll do the top and bottom. Get that folded over. Oh, little glue. That's not gonna hurt anything. All right, now let's do this. I'm going to cover the entire inside of this with paper. So again, I'm not super worried about how neat it is. Let's kind of stick that in here. All right, one more side. Gonna just crease. Try to kind of score. I know I don't really have like a scoreboard or anything under this, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of a mark because I want to try and get this folded. And then see if anything kind of pops up or needs to be adjusted. So there we got this side, but where my overlap is, I did not glue that down well enough. So we're gonna stick a little more glue under there. I should have worried just a little more than I did, huh? There we go. Not too worried about it being a little sloppy. I'm going to cover up the front of this quite a bit with decorations. So there we go. I think we're going to let that dry and then we'll come back and add the inside. All right, so on the inside of my journal, I've got 3 panels I'd like to add. I'm going to do a centerpiece, this pattern, just to kind of neaten up the spine area. I just wanted that little pop of color. And then I have a couple of sheets. This was one digital paper, which I've cut in half, and then I rounded the corners with a corner punch. There's one of these. And I'm gonna put one of these on each side over top to kind of finish off the inside. But I realized that since I want to put the ribbon on, I really need to put the ribbon on first on the front because I'd like to hide the ends of the ribbon underneath all of these inside pieces. So I'm just going to flip this over. A little bit of glue right down there. And this is just a holiday ribbon I had actually stashed away somewhere. I rummaged it up. I wanted something gold to go on the front. Try to center that up a little bit. Alright, there we go. So next I'm going to put this piece in. I'm going to try to center it. I don't think it needs to be perfect. And then we're going to have to fold that and make sure our book still folds appropriately. So let's see, let's put that in. try and feel for our crease here. I'm just gonna run that down right where that crease is and where this one is, just to kind of score it. So hopefully it will fold a little easier. Good bit of glue. Let's grab our trusty brush and smooth that all out again so we don't end up with weird lumps and bumps. Smooth that side down. Yeah, that's gonna work. All right. Same thing on this side. Down. Give that a little fold. That works pretty good. Make sure all these edges get down really well. All right, 2 more pieces to go. Let's see, which one I think I'll do like that. Kind of get my little crease lines here as a guide. I'm not worried about perfection. Just want to get these down. So let's put a nice coating on the back. I'm gonna try to make sure I get right up to the edge on this because I don't want it to peel up too much on me. A little more glue. There's one. And there's 2. I'm gonna give this all a smooth with my bone folder and check one more time to make sure everything's glued down and that it folds up properly. Can we slide that a little bit? We got a little close there. All right, and there we go. There's our cover. I'm gonna let this dry before I go trying to punch through all the layers, and I am going to insert my signatures next. All right, so I lied. I'm not ready to put the signatures in yet. I wanna work on the cover some more. So I had this piece, this is a paper, a journal page from the Christmas cheer set, and I was printing patterns on the back, and the printer ate this one. So I decided that this section here might make for an interesting little kind of fussy cut pocket on the front of the journal. So I'm just gonna give this a little cut, and let's see where this takes us. Get rid of these white edges. I think we're gonna have to trim this down a little more. Let's see. It is actually not too bad. I think I might leave it like that. And that'll give me a nice pocket. I think I might like to ink the edges of this though. So grab Vintage Photo Distress ink. And I'm getting it all over my fingers. I'm gonna go ahead and took the edges of this just a little bit. Make it pop a little more before I glue it down. This is a good example of just because the printer ate it doesn't mean you can't use it. Cut it up. It was totally my fault. I love my printer. I have an Epson EcoTank, and I just kind of grabbed the paper too soon. I was excited, and it sucked it right back in and rolled it up into the back. Those things happen. There we go. I like that. I think I'm gonna run glue on these two sides, and then I think I'm gonna run a little glue up here just to make it more secure because I don't want that catching on things. Kind of do that off camera, but I just ran it up. I like that. There we go. Oh, I really like that. All right. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna do on here. I might come up with some kind of title, or I might tear up. I have some extra paper when I cut a page to do the inside of the spine. I might tear some of that up and use it on the front. I don't know, but at least I got my pocket on. I like how that looks. I might distress around the edges on the front of this a little bit or something, but we'll figure that out later. All right, so I'm gonna get my signatures ready to go into my journal. These are pretty small signatures. There are only 5 pages of paper in each one. I used the Christmas cheer kit, all the pages from that. And then I actually did the backs of some of them in my Champagne Sparkle journal paper kit, and then took green and red distress ink. I got Mowed Lawn and Fired Brick. I put some of that on it to kind of bring in those Christmas colors. But I'm also going to be adding quite a lot of Christmas card cutouts, and I also have, let's see, it's in here somewhere, a couple of my mini kits. This is the folder, Christmas cheer folder mini kit. I'm going to be releasing a flip mini kit, and I think I have an idea for another one. We'll see. So I might put one of those in each one, and those get pretty bulky. So I figured with everything that I have planned for this book, I'm gonna leave plenty of space. So I have 3 signatures. Each one has 5 pages. You can certainly put more. Mine are very neat. You can tear up the edges. You can sew all kinds of things on before you go. I'm just gonna keep it pretty clean for now, and I will rough it up later. All right, so this one I've already done. I clipped it. I've made myself a template. I do not have this template available currently, but I'm gonna work on a template set, and once it is ready, I will make sure that it gets linked down below. But for now, I'm kind of still working these out for myself. And I made a matching template. This one's for my spine. It's the same size as my spine, and I put the holes. I'm gonna do 3 holes. And then I made a matching one with the holes in the same place so that I can punch right through. And I've already punched this one. So we're gonna do, this one has the mini kit in it. This is the little folder mini kit. I want that all the way at the bottom because I want 2 of these holes to catch it. And I've made myself a little stabby pad thing out of several layers of cardboard just from some Amazon shipping boxes so that I can not poke holes in my table. My husband appreciates that. Make sure everything is lined up. And I'm just gonna clip that. Make sure we're all folded still. I'm gonna clip this one at the bottom too. Sometimes I'll clip at the top. But a lot of the bulk is at the bottom today, so there we go. A little bit off, let's adjust that. There we go. All right, and I bought a bookbinding kit and it had a lot of tools in it. This is one of the tools that came with the kit, this little awl. I'm gonna line this up. And just, excuse my cat there, he has come to visit me. And I'm just gonna punch straight down through each of these. It's gonna be a little tough with that cardstock in there. Make sure my fingers aren't in the way. And right through. We have our 3 holes, and I'll be able to grab a needle and some thread and put right through there to sew in my signature. So I'm going to go ahead and do the last one, and then we'll start sewing this together. All right, so I took my little template, put it into the spine. I've already punched all the holes straight down through, right down through each of these little guide holes into my spine. You can see I've got a little tear out on the back. I'm not going to cover all this up, so I'm just going to poke some of that back in. I'm sure it'll kind of come back out whenever we sew the thread through, but we'll see how it ends up. There we go. We'll see what happens with that. All right, so all of my holes are punched. I've got all 3 signatures punched all the way through, and now we're going to sew these in right like that. So I'm going to decide what order I want them in. I'm also going to make sure that they are right side up. We don't want to accidentally sew them in upside down. Let's see. That one is backwards. All right, so we've got, and if you've noticed, I have some of these pages where it has like this whole border. I like those in the middle. That's just preference. You can put your pages in any order that you want. I think I'm gonna put this one in the middle, this one in the front. All right, so there's our order. We're gonna get some, this came also with my kit. This is just a red waxed thread for bookbinding. This to the side. Clean up after ourselves. And this needle also came with the kit. It came with a bunch of different needles and threads and tools, and I'm not even sure I'm going to use it all. The bone folder came in there. I will link this kit down below so that you can also see it. I got it on a Black Friday sale, and the price was pretty good at that time. So, and I like that it came with the red thread. I was pretty excited about that. So we're gonna get, I don't know, let's try about 3 lengths on the string. Get our needle. Grab our first signature, and I'm gonna go right through this center hole. And then I'm gonna go through, you can see it, it's right there, center hole in my book. I'm gonna pull most of that through. I'm gonna leave a good bit to tie. It's frustrating if you leave too short of a little tie. All right, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna go through our top hole. Get that nice and tight. Back through our middle hole. And then through the bottom hole. I want to make sure that's all nice and snug. I'm going to go right underneath this first loop. Take my needle off. Make sure our threads are pretty tight on the outside. I like how that red looks. And then I'm just gonna knot it. For now, I'm gonna leave these extra little tails. I might hang some things off of it, out the bottom. I'm not sure, but for now I'm gonna leave those in there. All right, one down, two more to go. I am gonna get those done and I'll be right back. And here she is, all bound up and ready to go. Got lots of room on the outside to decorate. I've got my cute pockets to fill. In between my signatures, I do have extra space in here. Let's see if I can flip and show you. So see, you can see the spine through here. I have plans to either add, I have more kits that I'm making where this can go in here and it's gonna take up some space, or I've got an idea for a big folder kind of situation that I can actually stuff a bunch of Christmas cards into that I wanna save or something like that. I'm not sure, but I knew I needed room to do it. I'm looking forward to sharing what I am gonna do with you in a future video. Thank you for checking out this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.